welcome to Meeple Village. Today we're going to be doing a full run through of Animated. This is a Disney game where we're going to be making movies. Join me at the table and let's play Animated. Alright guys, I have the game ready, almost ready to go. I wanted to show you a couple things and also show you what setup is all about. So let's go over it. Remember, we're doing a two-player game. This is not a solo game. You have to play with someone else, but it is co-op, so I figured I can get away with playing because we're really just helping each other out here. So let's take a look. So first, let's look at the big board over here, which is where, the game happens, I guess. So we have animation cards, which we're going to shuffle. And these we're going to use to prevent bad things from happening and to power up our abilities when we get them, which we don't start with any abilities. Everybody starts with 3 cards. So 3 for you, and 3 for you, and we'll just put the deck right there. We have some magic tokens. Everybody starts with a magic token, which I've given everybody already. We'll go over these people in a minute. Over here we have ink and paint, which we're going to need to paint our characters, which are down here, and they have colors, so those are the ones that we'll be painting. And then we have our villains, which are the bad guys in the game, the AI, the people that are going to try to prevent us from winning. And we are going to be using the villains from the movies that we've chosen. So since I'm using Snow White, we get Maleficent, or the Queen, not Maleficent. Oh my gosh, I don't know my movies. So we get the Queen for Snow White, and then Jafar for Aladdin. And the movie that was made earliest is the movie The First Player, and Snow White was made before Aladdin. So also the Queen, which is Snow White's the oldest movie, is going to act first. So that's why she's on top. But they'll be rotating. Over here is the tracker for our deadline. So we have 13 rounds to be able to defeat the game. If not, we're going to lose the game. Over here, and it's not really 13 because once you get to 13, you get one more turn. So it's really like 14 turns. Over here, we have a reminder of how many calamity cards or bad stuff are going to be used every round. And you can up the difficulty by a lot. And of course, depending on how many players, you might want to up the difficulty even more. One is novice, which is the easiest one, but I figure since I'm talking to you guys and I want to make this as smooth as possible, I will not complicate things too much, and I'll just have one calamity card. Now these are our calamity cards, and again on the bottom it's going to have the name of the movie that they refer to. So we have Snow White calamities and Aladdin's, and we're going to shuffle those and just create a deck over there. And we can actually reveal the first one because we're going to have one every turn. So there we go. Okay, and then down here, these are our actions that we're going to be taking during the game. And I will explain those and they will make more sense as we play as well. But just know that we have these, 5 different actions that we can take, and the number of where the action is at is how powerful that action is going to be. So right now our sound is our most powerful action, but although I should probably shuffle these. I did put these randomly, the paint, you see that they move, and I could go ahead and redo it, but I made them so pretty with, everybody looking the right side, so I don't want to change them. But I did randomize them. Okay, so there we go. So now we got this setup. So background is our strongest action, and ink and paint is our weakest action. And again, you'll understand that when we start playing. All right, so we have Snow White on this side, which is going to be first player. She's got the first player token. And what we need to do is we need to put these tiles back on here. They have numbers in the back to remind us how much they cost to put on. And when we cover these specific ones, we're going to get bonus actions or magic tokens. Again, you'll understand that in a minute. We have our characters that we need to use paint, and the paint that we need is down here in order to be able to set them onto our set once our set is completed. And then they're going to give us some abilities that can be triggered by the cards that we have in our hands. For example, this heart will trigger Snow White. We've got here our board tokens, and any tokens that we get will go up on the top. And then the different actions that we can do, it's a reminder of how to do them. And then on the bottom, everybody is this is an asymmetrical game, so everybody has a different power that they can use. So Snow White is going to use the 7 dwarf tokens, and we'll go over what they do in a minute, maybe when she starts playing. And then Aladdin, same thing. He has a genie token instead of the 7 dwarfs. He starts with 3 cards as well. This is kind of his what he does. He's got his board tokens and the paint that he needs with the cards that he needs. Now we need to, in order to win, because that's always a good thing to know. In order to win, we need to complete the set. So put all these things for both of our characters up here. Have our characters, our painted characters, on the set, and then after we do all of that, we flip this card and it gives us stuff that we need to have before we can actually win. And the game says you can look at this card at any time to prepare for the end. And then on the bottom, it's again the same thing as we had here, just smaller. um, and when you complete this thing, so you have the red, black paint, these 2 cards, you actually defeat your villain, and your villain comes over here. And of course, this is not the right villain, but let's pretend. And you'll put him like that, and that means that that villain is not going to be acting. And if you get to do that for both villains, you win the game. And that was a really quick summary of the whole shebangs. But now let's go do it. So we have a handy dandy player aid. Let me show it to you so you know what to do on your turn. So on our turn, we're going to select an action card, and these are the 5 action cards that are, out on the board. And then we're going to do the tiles action, or take a magic action token if you don't want to do the action. Then we're going to slide action tiles, which you'll see in a minute, and then we're going to place or use the characters and remove calamities. I'll show you how that's done in a minute. Each character power can only be used once per turn. Then on the back of the card, we have what the magic tokens are for. You can take a magic token instead of doing your selected tiles action. And we're covering a magic symbol on the background board. You can give a magic token to any one player. And then to use them, you discard a magic token to use the magic action tile as any action. And the magic tile is one of the actions on the board. Or to use a character's power instead of discarding the animation card or the card that has a symbol that matches. Sound actions, character powers, and calamity effects may also cause you to take or discard magic tokens. So there are some other ways that you can lose or gain magic tokens. And here's our magic action. That's what they're talking about. And what it is really is a wild. If you spend a magic token, you can use this tile and use it as any of the other tiles, but at the power of this card. And that you will understand in a minute as soon as I start playing, which I'm going to do now. So following we're going to start with Snow White. She's the first player because our movie is older. We're going to select an action tile. So obviously you want to try, I mean, not obviously, but I'm thinking that I want to try and use the ones that are more powerful, which are the 5 and the 4 and the 3 even. So these are going to be our strongest cards. Background is a really good one. We can start with that one, and I'll show you all of them. But for now, let's go one at a time. So when you pick the background action, what you do is you slide the tile down, and then if you look here, it says background, place up to X value of background tiles. So I can place up to 5 because the background tile, the X is the number where it's at, up to 5 background tiles here. And like I told you, there are numbers on the back of these things. So if I use that one and that one, well, I couldn't because I have 7 and I only have 5. Let's see, the 4 goes here and I would need a 2 down here to complete it. But I can start working on one of the other ones. Now, I also have to kind of think about what power I want to have for the rest of the game, the sooner. So I think I want Snow White. So I will go with the 4 here. And it's actually covering something. So yeah, so immediately you get to get this bonus. So this bonus, that bonus kind of sucks right now, but it's okay. We'll let's see. Yes, actually it's not that bad. So this bonus is that immediately when you do that, I still have one more point, by the way, which I'll pick in a minute. You get to take the ink and paint action at whatever level it's at. So obviously it's right now it's at its weakest. I would only be getting a 1 on ink and paint, but I will be getting a bonus action, which is not a bad thing. So what do we do with ink and paint? Let's do it right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy paint up to the level where you're at. We're not going to put this card down because that's not our action. Our action was this. That's just a bonus action. So I can buy at 1, I can buy any of the ones at the 1. if I had like, let's say 6, which I probably wouldn't because it goes up to 5, but let's say I had 4, for example, I could buy 1, 2, 3, 4, or I could buy 2 plus 2, 4, or 2, 3, 4, whatever combination up to 4. Um, but all I have is 1. So what I need to do is I'm working on Snow White, and I know that Snow White needs either blue or yellow. I'm going to look over here and see if there's any blue or yellow. There isn't, but there is a wild that cost only 1, which is what I had, only 1. So I'm going to take that. And once I take it, everything goes and slides down and leaves that open so that when I use it, I have a place to put it back. All right, so I still have one more. And which one do I want to do? I think I'm going to go ahead and use this corner one. Hope that's the one that goes there. Sometimes it's hard to tell because that will give me a magic token for free. So, and again, I can keep it or I can give it to any other player. Since magic is so high, I'm going to give it to Aladdin because Aladdin might want to use magic next turn. You'll see why. Okay, so let's see, where's the card? Here it is. I've selected an action. I did the tiles action, and then I'm going to slide action tiles. And the way that works is you take this one and you're gonna slide everything down just like that, and then this one is going to be now the weakest. And like I told you, magic is going to be pretty strong next turn. That's why I gave Aladdin a magic token. All right, and then the last thing we do is place or use characters and remove calamity. And I can't place any characters or use their abilities because I don't have any yet, but I could remove calamities. And the way you do that is every calamity card is going to have a requirement that you have to meet in order to remove it. Some cannot even be removed, and it will just say cannot be removed. But this one, yes, this one can be removed with a card that matches that symbol. And I happen to have that card, which is grit. So if I discard my card, I can also discard the calamity. And you kind of want to do that if you can, because if not, the ability of the villain is going to trigger, which we're going to see during the villain's phase of the turn. And they're usually not fun. They make you discard things and stuff. But with that, Snow White is finished. So now we can take Aladdin's turn and see what he wants to do. Magic and sound are our strongest. I do have 2 magic tokens. I do think I'm going to go ahead and use magic because I also want to do background. Because the sooner that you do background, the sooner you get your powers. And so I'm feeling like if I do that and I use background is really weak, so I better take advantage of the magic being strong so that I can actually take a background action as a 5 instead of as a 1. So I can put 5 things out. Now, where do I want to start with him here? This is convenient later. I think Abu is probably the best one. We can swap places of 2 action tiles. If I have a camera, which I don't, but I might get a camera later. So it's 5. I'm in the same predicament. I don't have enough to do all that. But we can start here with the 4. And then I get to take an ink and paint action at whatever level, which now it's at level 2 because it moved. So at level 2, let's see, I need red and purple. There's a red that is 2, so I'll take it. I slide that down, get my red, and then I still have 1 left and probably return the magic. Let's see, I don't like her power that much though, so you know what, for now, let's just go here and do Aladdin. That doesn't go there, does it? So sometimes it's easy to tell. Sometimes it's like you have to look. Okay, there you go. That matches. Okay, and I don't need to. So I did that. So now at the end of, I used I picked the card. I used the power. Now we're going to slide everything. So magic is going to be pretty weak. So I didn't really go for that magic token. I can do that later. And after that, then I can place characters, but of course I can't because my set is not complete. And I can remove calamities, but there's nothing to remove, so I'm done. And we're going to go to the villain phase. So the villain phase goes through very specific phases, and I'm going to show them to you up close so you have an idea because the font is small. And I really like that all the information is here, so you don't have to look anywhere else. So the Queen, advance the deadline and check hand limit. So every turn we're going to advance the deadline and move towards the end of the game, the timer, and then we check our hand limit. Our hand limit is 7. We're definitely not even close to being at 7. I got 3, she's got 2, so we're good. So we move to the next thing. The next thing is the calamity effect. And this is what would happen if we had calamity cards that we didn't deal with. Yes. Collectively discard 2 animation cards at random. If they match, advance the deadline. But because we dealt with the calamity, then we don't have to worry about it. And see it if it's incomplete, like if we couldn't discard 2 cards because we only had 1 card between amongst the 2 of us, then we would also advance the deadline. And then at the end, there's a reminder: move the queen to the bottom and refresh calamity. And that is an important reminder because it's so easy to forget to draw the next calamity card. Believe it or not. Okay, let's move this a bit because I want to get confused. So we know we have only 1 calamity card. Okay. So this calamity card we cannot remove. So we're going to have to deal with Jafar's effect, which I believe is discarding a magic token. Yeah, so we both have magic tokens, and we're not going to be using them. I think we'll be okay for now. All right, so we go back to Snow White's turn. So Snow White is going to use the sound action because what that's going to do is that's going to trigger her special ability, which then I'll get to show you. And I love her special ability, by the way. I think it's really cool. Let me go ahead and show you. So this is her little action board where it tells you how to take all the actions. You already saw which one, and in background. But yeah, we saw this one already, and we saw ink and paint. So now sound, and the only one we're missing is animation, which I don't take very often, so I'll show it to you. If the card is at 1 or 2, we draw 1 more card. If the card is at 3 or 4, we draw 2 cards, and if the card is at 5, the action is at 5, then we draw 3. But the one we care about here is the sound, hey ho. So it says give X, which right now is 5 because the sound card was at 5. So give 5 7 dwarf tokens to any number of players. I can divide them however I want. And whenever a player does an action, they may return any number of 7 dwarfs tokens to increase the value of that action by 1 for each token returned. So in essence, with these tokens, with the dwarf tokens, if I was doing the ink and paint at 3, I can spend these to make it a 5. Or I can actually spend on 7 and make it a 10. 3 plus 7 dwarfs is 10 if I had 7 dwarfs, right? So it's really convenient, and also you can actually use it to increase the amount on your bonus actions. So if I cover the sound, well, not the sound, but yeah, sure. But if I cover the sound and the sound was at 1, I can increase it with this. So I love that action. So right now I'm at 5, so I can distribute 5 tokens however I want, either to me or to my friend. So let's see. I'm definitely going to give at least 1 to my friend, and I'll keep 1. I think who needs more? I think I'm going to need more than he because my board. Well, actually, no, my board is actually the same as his. So I'll just keep 3 and give Aladdin 2, and we'll go like that. And I mean, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But that's it. That's my action because I just distribute them. Now, during another action, in another turn, we can start using them, and you'll see how those are actually very helpful. So then I can now, at the end of my turn, we slide the cards, did the action. So sound is not as great now. And then now I can go ahead and try to remove the calamity, but this one is not removable. So we are done, and then we're going to go to Aladdin. And animation is really high, but I don't know that I want cards until I have something to use them on. So I'm not worried about that. Ink and paint, though, I could probably get some paint. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and get some paint at 4. Now I'm working on these 2 guys. I have the red, so I need purple. And there's a purple here for 2, so I'll take it. I still have 2 more. And they don't slide down until I've done my purchases. And I also need white, and I need purple is what I would need. There's no other purple that I can afford unless I spend a dwarf. I also need blue and black. So you know what? I'm going to take the white for 1 and the black for 1. That's 4. 2, 3, 4. And then everything slides down. I'm gonna save my dwarves for when I really need them. And we can remove the calamity. Oh, we slide the cards. Yes, yes, yes. Don't forget to slide the cards. Okay. And so because we're gonna remove the calamity, we're done, and it's gonna be the villain's turn. So let's take a look at Jafar. So pretty much the same thing. He advances the deadline and check the hand limit. We have no issue with the hand limit at this point. Then the calamity effect is going to trigger because we didn't get rid of the calamity card since we couldn't. Collectively discard one magic token. And if we can't, then the deadline will advance. And then we move Jafar to the bottom and we refresh calamities. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have Snow White get rid of her magic because she might do background and then magic is going to move and he still has a magic token. This goes on the bottom. This gets discarded and we get a new one for which we need red paint in order to get rid of. So unless I get rid of my red paint or she gets rid of her wild paint, we're going to have to deal with that. Ink and paint is all the way at the bottom too. We'll see. If I would have known that, I would have let her keep the magic token so she could do ink and paint at least at 3, but I didn't. It's okay. There's a cheap red paint that somebody can get. So that's that. We're going to go to Snow White's turn. So ink and paint, even though it's the weakest, and it's at 1, but I'm going to buff it up to 3, and I'm going to get 1, 2. Actually, I only need to buff it to 2, right? So I'll keep my dwarf. Because I'll have the blue and the red, and I'll keep that. Yeah, I can get the yellow. I'm gonna need. So sure, no time like today. I'll just take the yellow. So now everything drops down. Okay, and we go to Aladdin, and Aladdin is oh, Calamity. Yeah, she's going to get rid of the red, and we can whenever like we put it back in whatever column. So like it would go, we could choose where to put it pretty much. And because I did that, we can discard the calamity. The bird is gone. What's his name? Iago, I think. All right, so now him. I really wanted him to do backgrounds. I think it's time to start getting some powers going here. So that's why I had her do the whole ink thing. And I have all the paint I need, so we're going to do background at 4. I know I want to get the 2 here so I can finish this one. So this one is finished. And then I still have 2 more, and I can actually bump it up. So with 2 more, I can, does this go here? Yeah, I can do this and get a magic token. Okay, and I'll just give it to Snow White since she doesn't have any. And then that's it, but like I said, I can do another 2. However, this is a 3, so that wouldn't help me. But I could spend 1 to maybe start working on here and get a magic token, since magic seems to be getting stronger soon, and I'll just keep it. Okay, and then at the end of my turn, we slide everything. Did I? Oh, well, this was at 1, so I would have stayed here anyways. Slide, 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 and then I could get rid of calamities, or the other thing I could do is I could place my characters or use their powers. So I will place my characters because I have a set that's completed, so Abu can come over here. Abu and the magic carpet can come over here, and I've completed my first character. Now, when the first time you place a character, you get to use the ability for free. After that, you either had to spend the magic token or the matching card, which I remember I don't have. But the first time is free. And Abu's power says swap the places of any 2 action tiles. So this is a good chance to move that background over. So I'm going to. Since I don't really care much about cards, I'm going to swap the places of 2 action cards like that and make background really strong so she can move and complete her background as well. All right, so we're done. We're going to go to the Um, why I forgot to move this up, didn't I? Yes, okay, because this is the third time. So the queen is going to move this, the deadline. We check hand limit, but we're okay there. We don't have any calamities, so she's done. Go back to Jafar. We refresh calamities. And now we need a green paint. Oh gosh, we don't have any, but there's a cheap green paint that we can get. And she also has a wild, but she's gonna need that wild if she wants to place whoever she's placing. Oh no, she doesn't, because she's got the paint for this. Okay. So she can spend the wild to get rid of the calamity, and so we don't have to worry about ink and paint. We can worry about other things. All right, so because I do want Aladdin to use his sound, just because I want to show you, and his sound actually, his ability is not bad either. I still like Snow White's better, but that's just me. All right, so the plan was to have Snow White use background, so let's do that. So she's up to, she can do 5. She has no tokens left, so it's only 5. She's gonna complete down here. There it is. She's completed Snow White's scene, or part of the set. So that's 2. I think I'm gonna go like that and like that. Get all my bonuses now. So because I was 2 and this is 2, 4, get a magic, and I'll keep it because he's got 2 and I only have 1. And then for my last one, I'm going to be able to do the sound at whatever level it's at, which is 3. So I get to distribute 3 more tokens, and we'll split them like that. Okay, and now at the end of my turn, everything slides. And then at the end of my turn, I get to place characters. So Snow White is going to come over here, and I get to do the action for free. Do I have hearts? I do have a heart for her later. Good. So choose another player. You each take a 7 Dwarfs token. So we're both getting another token, which is great. All right, I like Snow White. Snow White is cool. Okay, and I will discard my paint here in order to, it's too bad that I have to discard a wild, but sometimes you have to. Okay, Aladdin's turn. Aladdin's working on this, but background is right now not great. Do I have all the paint I need? I got the purple, I got the red. Actually, I was supposed to discard this to be able to put this guy there, just like I was supposed to discard these. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. So yeah, when in order to place the guy for the first time, or only for the first time, you have to pay the paint. So all this paint should have gone back. So I think because of that, it would have been like that. And yeah, and like that. So unfortunately, our wild is all the way up there. That's okay. I think that's how it was supposed to go. All right. Too bad, so sad. Nothing I can do about that. So I'm ready for this one. I need a purple here. Ink and paint is a 3. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the sound. So let's do sound. Sure, let's do sound. So his sound ability. He has Friend Like Me. Choose any player to take a magic token. That in itself is already good. Then place the genie token above the X space on the studio board. When another player selects the action tile at the genie's token space, they may return the genie token. If they do, you and that player may each take an animation 3 action, background 2 action, or ink and paint 2 action. So we're going to both get bonus actions, which is great. Of course, that doesn't happen right away. That happens the next time somebody picks the action. That's going to be at number 4, because that's where the sound action, which is the action he took, is at right now. So that's great. In the future, we will benefit from that. In the meantime, we have to slide the tiles, which means that the ink and paint is the one that's going to get the bonus, at least for now. I guess we can keep it here in case that moves, but I will probably take advantage of that right away. Let's see. And we did that. Now I can deal with calamities, or I can use my powers, but I do not have a card that matches that. I could also swap places of any 2 action tiles, not with the card, but with spending a magic token. Do I want to do that? Is that important? I think maybe I could move the sound up a bit, or even the background. This animation, I still don't want any cards, although I should be getting cards so I could start using this without spending magic tokens. So you know what? No, I will leave it, because I will probably take an animation at some point. So we're done. Jafar is going to move the deadline to number 4, but there's no calamity. So all we got to do is move him to the bottom, refresh the calamity. This one we cannot remove, so we need to deal with her. And her thing is that we need to collectively discard 2 animation cards, and if they match, we are going to move the deadline. Do we have things that match? We do. We both have grit and we both have heart. But I've found a way around that really easy. Really, I mean, I it's kind of crazy easy. You'll see when we get to the villain phase. In any case, that's for next turn. We cannot remove the calamity card. We go back to Snow White. Snow White is going to, let's see. She's going to use ink and paint. So everybody gets a bonus action. So we'll do ink and paint, and we will return the genie. Here you go, Mr. Genie. Ink and paint is at 4. Let's see, what colors do I still need? I need green, yellow, blue, red. So green and yellow, blue, red. Okay, so actually there's 3 here. Yeah, blue for 1, red for 1, that's 2, 3, and then I need, what is it, a yellow? Yellow is expensive. So I could spend my tokens. I would need to spend 2 tokens because I only have 1 left, 1 power left. Sure. Actually, I can just get the wild. Spend 1 and get the wild, which is at 2. There we go. And then we slide everything down. Okay. And now, before we move over to the next turn, we're going to use the genie's ability because I did return the genie. So we can each player may take either an animation 3, background 2, or ink and paint 2. So animation will give me cards. Animation 3 will give me cards, will give me 2 cards actually. So I don't know if I want because of her power, so I won't do that. So it's either a background 2 or ink and paint. I don't think I need any more ink and paint. Actually, I do. I need to get these 2 paints, green and purple. There's green and purple, or I could do more background. Where's background at? Background is at 2. Background 2. I think I'm going to do background to move forward here a bit because I still have ways to go. And I guess we can do this one at 2. And since I have 2 of these, I can finish it. But this is not a good time to finish that. And the reason why it's not is because, let's see, I can only do it 2. Okay, it's because if I finish this with the 2 dwarf tokens, the prince can go here and he will activate right at the end of my turn. And his ability is remove 1 calamity card. And that's great, except that he cannot remove calamity cards. It's on the rule book. It's on the back of the book as FAQ. So this will not be a great time to get the prince up there. So maybe I'll just stay at 2 and save my dwarf tokens so that I can complete this when there is a calamity card that I can actually remove. So I chose mine, and then he also is going to get either a animation 3, which will draw him cards, background 2, or ink and paint 2. He's got the paint he needs. Of course, there's more paint in the back. What does he need in the back? He needs red and black, which with ink 2 he can get. So let's do it. He's going to take an ink 2 and get those 2, and he did it. Okay. And that was all because of Snow White's turn, which I forgot to, at the end of now we did all our actions. Now this moves. And now I could use her powers of my guys, or I could try to remove calamity cards, but I can't remove that. But I can use my power, so I will. Actually, that will mess my trick. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Okay, so yes, I'm going to spend my heart. You'll understand in a minute. So that I can use my power, choose another player, and we both get 1 token. And hey, all the tokens are out, so that's good. I need to start using them so that I can start using Snow White power Again, of course, I don't have the matching heart, but I can always use a magic token to trigger it. All right, so let's go to Aladdin's turn. And I think that because he has so many dwarfs, it might be a good time to do something powerful. Don't have the purple for. Why do I not have the right colors for you? What did I do here? I have black and I have white, but I need purple and blue. Did I pick the wrong colors? Oh, I probably picked the ones in the back here. I did. Okay. All right, so I do need some ink, but ink is like our weakest right now. Uh, if I do background, I don't have enough for either one of these characters to trigger. But I could do magic. Yeah, I have 2 magic tokens. So let's use magic. And I can use magic for ink and paint since it's so weak. So let's do it. So I need purple and I need a blue. I have, is that right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need purple, I need blue. So, oh, and they're cheap. So it's 2 and 1 is 3. And I still have 2 left. What do I want? I'll take a while for 2. Sure, you never know. And then we slide everything down, but there's nothing to slide because I grabbed from the top. And then everything's down. Now magic is not as powerful. And we are done. I can now remove calamities or use my powers. But I still don't have a boost card, and I don't know that I want to spend my last magic to swap the places of 2 cards. Although I could get rid of this animation, but I should be drawing cards at some point, so I'm going to stay. All right, so the queen is going to advance the deadline, and then we're going to have to deal with her calamity effect, which we have to collectively discard 2 animation cards at random. If they match, advance the deadline. So here's a trick that I figured. When I looked it up on the rules, and collectively means you can choose who discards. So if I want, it could just be Snow White, or if I could do one from each character. If there were other people, we could pick who's going to discard them. So the trick I found, she only has 1 card, but he has 3, so he can go ahead and be the one discarding 2. And his cards don't match. None of these cards match. If I picked one from each, there is a chance that I could match the grit. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard 2 of his cards. It's not like he's using them. He needs cameras. All right, so we randomly discard these 2. And there they go. And because they didn't match, we don't have to worry about advancing the deadline. So yeah, I'm not sure about it's kind of easy to get around that one. Okay, so now we refresh the calamities. Okay, and this one needs a heart. Anybody has a heart? Nobody has a heart. So this might be a good turn for animation. Okay, so let's do it. We go to Snow White and she will take an animation, hoping for that heart. And at 5, we draw 3. So let's see. 1, oh, he needed that. 1 and 2. And is this a heart? It's not a heart. 2 focus, which is what Abu needs, or the magic heart. Okay, so that wasn't that great. And then we move everything. Okay, and then I could remove that, but of course, I can't. And I can also use my powers, but I need a heart for that. I didn't get a heart. I could use a magic token for that, but it wouldn't matter because my power is to give people dwarf tokens, and I don't have any. So I'm done. Now we're going to have Aladdin go. And Aladdin might make this work because we do have background at 5. So I'm going to take that action. And I'm going to complete Mr. Aladdin here. So I need a 2, a 3. Okay, so 3 out of the 5. That's okay. I still have 2 left. And when I cover this, I get to do animation at the lowest level, unfortunately. Although I could bump it with that. Okay. I might bump it a bit. It's at 1. I would need to bump it by 2. So let's do it because her power gives out 2 tokens. So I'm at 3. I will draw 2 animation cards. And that's not it. And that's not it. Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. I have another plan, I think. Let's see. So this one is finished, and I used the three. I still have two left. So with two, I could put one more of these. Okay. And unfortunately, I don't have enough dwarves to finish it, or I would. Right? Wait, no. Three, four, five. No, yeah, I only have two, so I could do this, but not both. I can spend one. I think I'm gonna stay. It shouldn't be so hard to find the last three. Okay, so at the end of my turn, I will go ahead and slide everything. Okay, and then I can use powers and resolve calamities. And here's how we're gonna do that. We're going to put Aladdin here by spending purple and white and the purple. Okay, and then Aladdin says choose any player to take any animation card from the discard pile. Well, I'm gonna choose me to take a heart, and then I want to spend the heart to get rid of the calamity cards. So there you go, little combo going on that worked out at the perfect time. Okay, and that's it because you can only, well, actually, it says you can only use a character's power once per turn. So I'm not sure if that means that I could really like use a boost power. Obviously, I don't have a camera, do I? No. So I would have to use a magic token, but I think I'm okay. We're gonna leave it the way it is. I like that sound is up here. Maybe the genie can work out his magic in a minute. So we're gonna go to the villain, and the deadline is going to advance. There's no calamity, so we just go ahead and switch them up, and there we go. So this one is an interesting one. What we have to do in order to get rid of this calamity card is we need to take the action that's at number 2, whether we like that action or not. So if not, we just have to deal with the calamity, which in this case is to discard a magic token. Okay, so Snow White. How would you like to take the number 2 action? I wouldn't. Okay, so then don't worry about it. Don't do it. Let's see. Snow White needs to, well, actually, if we finish the prince, we can get rid of that. But can we finish the prince? We need 2. Background is at 1. And then he would have to take the animation. But I could also do magic. Yeah, I will do magic. I'm going to do magic so that everything moves. And background moves to 2. Yeah, I think so. You know, it's funny. You have to kind of plan ahead a bit in this game, which I'm not the greatest at. But I think we're going to spend a magic token to do magic and use it as, what was I going to use it as? Background, I think. Yes, background to finish the prince. Yes. So it's at 3. That goes there. Yeah. So that's 2. And then 2. I have one more. And then if I spend all this, I can finish. And I think I will. I'm gonna no, I'm not because I well actually yeah I can trigger both. Yeah, so let's finish it. Well, if I can put them. So I have to spend all my dwarf tokens, but the sound is right now at a good place. So maybe I can use the sound action soon. There we go. Finish everything, and also this is how you win. So I better do it right. Okay, spend all my tokens. And yeah, and then we slide, and then at the end I can use my like place characters. So for the prince I need red and blue ink. There we go. And the prince is going to help us because it says remove one calamity card, and this one can be removed. So actually I don't even have to worry about the number 2 anymore. And then this character needs yellow, which will be the wild, and green, and also there. And then choose any player to do any action at a value of 1. So since I'm finished, it'll probably be him. Although I'm not really finished. What happens is once you have everything, then remember you flip this over, and then I have to try and get all this stuff. So I'm not really finished. Do I have those cards by any chance? I do have a grid. Actually, I do have the cards. So all I need is the paint. Um, But I still think I should probably let Aladdin take a number one, so he can do this. His background is at 2, although he does have that. Or do I want to use a number 1 to get paint? There is a green for 1. Sure. I'll do it. I'll have the paint I need, because if we can get rid of one villain, it's one less villain to worry about, and then Snow White can just help out, get rid of the calamity cards, etc., and just set the turn up easier. Okay, so we did all that. I could spend either a magic or a heart to use Snow White's ability to give out some dwarves, but I guess I won't. We'll just go to Aladdin. Okay, Aladdin. So he needs a 3, right? Yes, he needs a 3 on the background. I think he can do it. He's gonna use the background action, and it's at 2, but he'll spend a dwarf, and he's going to finish his set. We're getting there, guys. Okay, then we slide everything. And at the end, I can place the characters. So blue and black go away. I go over here. Okay, and let's see. It says, Jasmine, choose another player. You each draw 2 animation cards, then discard 1 from your hand. Well, she's got the cards she needs, although she could use some of this stuff to trigger, but I don't. Let's see, what cards do you need? You need a heart and a grit. So you need a heart. So let's have him be the one. Draw 2 animation cards. 1, there's a heart, and 2, and then we can discard 1. We have to discard 1, so not the grit. So let's just get rid of either inspiration or teamwork. Let's see, something she doesn't have. She doesn't have either one. So inspiration then? Sure. Okay. All right, I think we did it. Now he needs to be flipped over to this side. Okay. And we're going to go to the villain. It's going to advance. There's no calamity, so that's it. I'll tell you that I guess this is novice difficulty, but I don't find it. You know, I'll be honest. I played it the first time and I almost lost. I didn't know the characters. I was learning a little bit the rules, so I made it, but I think I made it like when I was about to lose. Then I played it again and I won like on turn, I don't remember, 8 or 9, something like that, because I knew the characters. I played with the same characters, and now here we are again, almost done, and the deadline is at 7 days. So I do feel like eventually you're gonna need to up the difficulty, especially if you're playing with characters that you kind of like already know how they combo, what their powers do, etc., what they're good at. But I did all that, and now I lost my turn. Oh, it was Snow White, because we have to refresh the calamity. Yes. Okay, so we need a camera, which I know he likes. So I have cameras. I have an extra camera, so I'll try to remember to do that. All right. So yeah, she's pretty much just helping. Actually, she needs a purple paint. Didn't I get a purple paint? Oh no, I got the green. Okay. So she needs to take the ink and paint, whereas this guy has the paint and has the cards. Has the cards already, doesn't he? Does. Yeah, so we can easily win this turn, I think. So she's gonna take an ink and paint action, and her ink and paint action at 4 needs to get her a purple, which only costs 1. So she still has 3 left. So she'll spend, I don't know, 2 and 1. She doesn't really need it, and then everything is going to slide down. And we move everything. And at the end of our turn, we are going to spend a focus to get rid of the calamity. And we're also going to defeat the queen by spending green and purple and the 2 cards. And the queen will be placed here. So that means we won't replace Jafar anymore. Every turn is just going to be him trying to use his calamity effect. I don't think that's going to matter because, as you all saw, Aladdin can win right now. So Aladdin's turn, and he doesn't need anything. So he's just gonna take the whatever the ink and paint, and he's not gonna do the action. He's going to actually get a magic token because that's something you can do. If you don't want to take the action, you can take a magic token, and then everything slides. So we just put it back, and then at the end of his turn, he's got the black, he's got the red, he's got the two cards. So he's defeated Mr. Jafar, and Jafar is going to come over here, and that's it. That's how you play Disney animated volume 1, which means that there's going to probably, if the game does well, is there's going to be more movies added, and more villains obviously with the movies, and it's gonna grow. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I think it's a light game. It's a good one to play with family. There is some planning ahead, and if you're playing by yourself, and you know your characters, I think it's easier. But when you're playing with other people, you kind of have to coordinate. So I think there's going to be some player interaction, which is great because a lot of games do not have that. So you kind of have to know, oh, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need, so you can plan ahead and kind of set things up for the next player. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Well, guys, there you have it. That was a full run through of Animated. Hope you enjoyed it. Before you go, I wanted to show you there's something really cool that this game does with their insert, and I kind of wanted to show it to you. So this is kind of what the game looks like once you put it away. Everything is nicely packed. Everything is where it belongs. You have these tuck boxes where you can separate the movies. So when you are going to start the game, you can pick the movies you want to play depending on the amount of players that are playing with you, and just take the box out. And there's also a box for the board itself, and there's a couple tokens and stuff that are underneath all of this, underneath all your stuff. But there's room for everything, and I appreciate that in the game. So I wanted to show you because not all games do that. Actually, I was just doing an unboxing of Zombicide, and that's one game where I love the game, but I have a problem putting it away because there's so many tokens, so many things, and there's no place to put them. Descent is another one that comes to mind that does that, where I have no idea where to put the tokens. And yes, they sell. There are companies that sell organizers for those games, but that's extra money. This came straight from the company, just like that. So I appreciate that. Anyways, just wanted to show you that because I thought it was kind of cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you like Disney games. Let me know what's your favorite Disney movie. I already found out about Treasure Planet because of one of you guys. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm going to go watch that. I didn't even know that movie was around. Subscribe to Meeple Village if you haven't done so already, and follow us on social media. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. But until then, may you play more games. Won't you remember? Let me take you there, dancing through September with the radio on.